it not? Ooh. Oh, man. We just... Whew. That was interesting. Oh, nothing. Let's see where we're at. Hey, we're live.
We're live.
Look at that.
We're live and Dylan's chewing.
Yeah, thank you. The apple, man, is to get away from the saliva. It's the saliva.
Saliva, and if you need a
place.
quick, burst of, if you need a quick burst of fiber.
Someone has not been eating well.
Yep. I haven't had anything since I had what I had for dinner last night. I made some fries out of some baking potatoes.
Oh, that's not bad.
That was dinner.
That's decent. By the way, this stream brought to you by Hogarden.
What do you call me?
Some kind of garden, you son of a. All right, so I'm actually going to start writing down from here on out so we don't get too sidetracked. A few kind of themes we can talk about throughout the video today. We've got SM7B versus SM58. I'd imagine you watched the teardown video. Yeah, all right. Also, we have an H5 video on the way. The IGN video that everyone is a Twitter talking about, where they had the recommendations for mics. It was just horrendous.
Just stop. You're giving me hemorrhoids just talking about it.
And then the USB to XLR cable that they recommend in that video. That is going to be its own video.
Did you get it?
Oh, yeah, I got the XLR to USB. I bought one as soon as I saw it. Not yet.
Have you tried it? You don't have to, okay, I was going to say, you don't have to tell us the results yet, but.
No, I'm not plugging it in. I've got to plug it in, kind of do some tests. I'm going to do it with the SM7B because that's the mic they told us to do it with, which is just disgusting.
That's torture. That's torture for that poor cable. That poor, whatever poor. So tell me this. Now, obviously, if you're viewing, you can see this. I can't because his camera can only be in one place at once. So what does the cable look like? Like, are there any big sort of dingies on it, or is there any? Because it needs a preamp.
Okay.
Somewhere.
So let me get this up here. All right. So you can't see it, but it looks. No. It's an XLR to a USB, and the USB is a chunky USB. Okay. So that chunky USB right there is the USB that's
it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all the electronics are that.
And it's got a little green light. So this costs $12. Now, you can go higher end. We'll talk about this in a bit. We're not even going in the way of things. Flood of Sins sends, hey guys. Love the name.
What up?
Flood of Sins.
Flood of Sins.
That was my 20s.
That's a great band name. That is an amazing. Yeah. Right? Right?
Yeah. My 20s was a good time to be in a band. Let's just say that. So first on the docket, Dylan, did you watch the video, the SM7B? Make your SM58 sound like an SM7B. This was your idea for a video.
I died a little inside.
Why'd you die?
I don't like watching gear be destroyed.
I know. Wait.
Even if it's only a measly SM58.
I bought another one just for that because I didn't know what was going to be the outcome. And I could put it all back together, but I mean, then you'll hear the rattle of the thing inside. The next stage, and a couple things have been brought up about this. Now, first of all, did you notice much of a difference once they were put side by side?
Define much of a difference.
Well, I mean, did you see a $250 difference, or did you hear a $250 difference?
No, but we've talked about this before. The SM7 is not priced. People don't charge what stuff is worth. People charge as much as they know someone will pay for it. That is value. The value proposition of marketing.
I was shocked at how close it was. I was very super shocked at how close it was.
They're very similar. I mean, it's I've seen not so much a 58, but we're at 57, and then SM7, and there's a lot of similarities there. So
yeah, I thought it was going to be a little different. Now, here's a couple things that I'm planning on doing in the future because this is something people have brought up. First question, if I were to take that transformer and apply it to an SM7B, would it make an SM7B sound like an SM58?
Well, okay, so the main thing, let's talk about what the transformer does. First of all, it boosts the signal, which is good. But the one of the major auditory drawbacks for that is it adds a little presence boost.
Yes.
It adds a little presence boost, and there's a little bit of a loss of clarity in the low end. The SM7B has a phenomenal low end. In fact, better than any other mic in my kit, including the Neumann, which is surprising. I love how this thing sounds on low end things. Brown tones, lots of brown tones.
Brown notes. All the brown notes.
Yep. How low can you go? But no, so if you added, theoretically, if you added transformer to an SM7B, one of the biggest things that you notice right off the gate is at first it would sound a little crisper, a little brighter.
Yeah.
But after a while, you'd notice that S's are harsher. You'd notice that the general, it's just kind of a more nasally sound.
So here's my problem. Somebody's approached me to see if I can do a blind taste test with this, so much so that I would put the guts of an SM58 into a dead SM7B and see if people can figure out the differences, because somebody brought up that they thought maybe they were only hearing a difference because the two mics represented side by side were different. So some psychological difference in sound. So they challenged me to put both in an SM7B and see if I could do that. So I'm taking on that challenge and I'm looking for that SM7B.
Oh, thanks.
So
yeah, mine's very much alive. Thank you very much.
So the thought occurred to me, excuse me, I might not be able to get a dead SM7B.
I know you've been trying.
I have been trying so hard to get that dead SM7B, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So I may actually have to tear down an actual SM7B that works. So I guess at this point, if anyone wants to donate to the SM7B club so I can get one to tear down, well, I would tear down the one I own and try to keep everything safe and sound and not have to damage the body too much. We'll see. But that does mean I'm going to have to possibly tear apart a perfectly good working SM7B and shove some SM58 guts into it just to find out.
Oh, thanks.
You're not too happy with me right now. Am I making you uncomfortable?
Murderer! You bloody murderer, are you?
Well, then I was thinking if I had to do that anyways, why not actually put the transformer in place? I can actually do it on the outside of the SM7B because you have the mic or the wires right there. I could separate, put the transformer right on, and I could Frankenstein the hell out of it.
I was going to say, you got fucking Frankenstein over here.
It would be awesome. It would be Frankenstein's mic.
By the end of it, you're going to have the damn thing on life support.
No.
You're going to have a little...
It's just wires. I can do
wires. My veins are just little wires.
Well, I'm going to try to be careful. I need a brand new SM7B to replace this, though, because I don't want to be SM7B-less.
Wait until the economy crashes at the middle of the year.
So you don't support my destruction of an SM7B is what you're saying?
Oh, no, go for it. I'm not doing it, but you can do it. I'm going to just laugh as you do it. Schadenfreude.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So next up then, and this is, by the way, do you have any subjects that you'd like to present to the class?
I wish I'd written stuff down. Talk about your shit and then I'll figure it.
Someone's spicy today. My goodness.
Okay. No sleep and no food. It does too. Actually, so I got a thing right away. I got a thing. So as I sort of alluded to you, so we're gearing up for, I love it, February. January's dead. February's dead. And then suddenly last week of February, like the world explodes because it's and Numeris announces that they're doing ratings.
Yep.
My favorite time of the year. Not. But so on one of my stations, which shall remain nameless for the time being, is doing decided to do a ratings promo, one that has performed very well in the past.
Nice.
Like we're talking like hundreds of thousands of texts, for a market that barely has hundreds of thousands of people. So that's pretty impressive. And also calls and stuff. So anyway, there's all this imaging stuff, and it's a particular format. Like the stations are classic hits or variety hits, as it turns out. But the brand is very wide open as far as like what you can do with it. production wise, and so that because of that, it's usually like I have to take a significant time out of my day just to do one promo. This contest called for 7.
Ouch.
7 promos, 2 splitters, or like 2 small promos for those that never heard the word splitter. And then like an intro, a couple of work parts for the actual like contest play.
Wait a second. Can you hear music in the background here?
Yeah. Very, very vaguely though.
As long as I don't get copyright strikes on this.
I thought it was just me having a schizo moment. I didn't.
No, you're good. You're okay. You're okay.
Okay,
Continue.
It's got me thinking today about the things that producers spend literal hours on that you wouldn't guess. And so a good example is one of these promos. They were kind of talking about different things you can do with your ears. One of them was a great thing, to like hang face masks off of and to, listen to farts and other things. I mean, I'm sure anyone who knows stations in Canada already knows exactly the brand that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But then at one point they're like, or, put little latex tips on when you're pretending to be, Spock, you gigantic nerd. And then looking through the script and then how it was written, I was like, okay, I've obviously got to inject like a Spock drop after that of some kind. So began my 50-minute voyage into trying to find both highly quotable, because it's like I'm a firm, but like I'm really iffy about cultural references in production because that's a good one, obviously. But it also had to be one that flowed with the content of the script. I didn't want it to just be, here's a random clip of Spock that's culturally relevant, but practically irrelevant. So I ended up sifting through both old stuff, so like Leonard Nimoy era, and then the more recent sort of reboot that they tried to do of Star Trek. And I finally found like a clip, but it's one of those things that, like, if you heard that promo and you just heard that, like, you'd be like, that's neat. Meanwhile, that's an hour that I took at 3:00 in the morning to find that.
You want to piss them all off? Actually, find somebody like Bones from the show instead of Spock. That would you would irritate everybody. Damn it, Jim.
Well, again, I know not to fuck with Trekkies, man.
No,
like I know that's a group that you don't. So like I would screw with. Yeah, no, not a Trekkie.
Slept in a while, have you?
Well, not since yesterday, pretty much.
Okay,
not since yesterday. I attempted to sleep, so that doesn't really count, though.
Attempted does not count.
But so what's a you thing? What do you got? What's the
IGN
thing?
Video? This was the video I sent it to you earlier.
I need a barf bag.
I was going to do a reaction video to this IGN best mic video. It was bad. Like, it was probably on par.
It was a dumpster fire.
Did you ever see the Verge computer build video? Everyone was making fun of it. It was basically a computer build video by The Verge, and the guy that was doing it got a bunch of stuff wrong. Like at one time saying all you need is a pocket knife with as long as it's got a Phillips head screwdriver on it. Like, it's like so many bad things. I can't hear you now. What did you do?
Probably because I muted. It's probably because at some point subconsciously I muted myself.
Oh, because you're eating. Okay. So
I guess.
What did you say?
How many things have I said that have not been heard? Because
I don't know. I've been talking. I haven't. Man, you need to get sleep.
Like when you were asking me if I was tired, was I muted?
No.
Okay. That's
So
I was like thinking about it because like maybe that's why you said I was tired, because it looked like I was just mouthing things.
So, if you haven't seen the video of the Verge computer build, it was a mess. Everybody tore it apart. Everybody did like reaction videos. It didn't go well, but the Verge started handing out strikes for it. So if you did a reaction video, there was a copyright strike attached, and I wanted nothing to do with that. I was like, nope, I'm not touching. I'm not going to get a copyright strike, even though I seriously want to do a reaction video. It is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Well, here's the thing, though. Does that not count as fair use?
It does, but a content strike, if the owner of the content wants to give me a strike, they can do it whenever they want. And then I have to figure it out with lawyers whether or not it's fair use. YouTube does not deem fair use.
That's annoying.
Only the content owner will. So YouTube's not going to step in and go, oh, don't worry about it. You did great. They'll just let the strike stand until I figure out how to get it off. And there was a lot of problems with Bitwit and when he did his reaction, because he got a strike on his account and they weren't going to take it off until like big public outpouring of like support for him, which I won't have. Like I'll have a couple thousand people like kind of irritated, but
yeah, I mean, like if you really wanted to do it, what you could do is watch the video on your own time, take some notes and rebut to it. Like make a rebuttal video instead of a reaction video.
And then
they can't touch you.
That's what I was kind of hoping for here. I sent you the video. You have watched the video. And the one thing that stands out to you, what was the biggest grossly incompetent thing you saw in that video? Come on.
I mean, the insinuation that the USB to XLR cable is sufficient for literally anything, that was pretty bad. But I would say just as far as flat out, and this is going to glide into my next point of discussion perfectly, but the idea that phantom power is required for dynamic microphones is pure idiocy.
Dynamic microphones need more power. You heard what they said. They need more power.
Yes, but not of the phantom variety.
They need more gain, is what they were trying to say.
But so the thing is like even calling gain power, like what is power? Power is, well, in a very literal sense, as far as electricity is concerned, it's how fast joules are being consumed, i.e. watts.
Yeah.
So it's an expenditure of energy. But so in the case of the preamp model, power isn't really accurate. Even to call a gain knob a power knob, even though I'm sure lots of people have done it, but like I'm speaking from like an electrical engineering standpoint, dumb.
It's
but let alone to call it.
Keep going. I have
power.
to close this door because my wife is singing and I'm going to get a copyright strike. I know it.
Oh boy. But no, it's just I have a real pet peeve with people who don't know what they're talking about that take it upon themselves to try to educate the world when they don't know what they're talking about. And don't get me wrong, like there's lots of stuff that I don't know, but I'm not going to talk about it, or I'm not going to talk about it as an educator.
Or you know what you can do? You can go and you can read up on a couple things. You can educate yourself, and then you can share that with other people. Name your sources.
But I'm especially that way with politics. Like for anyone watching who doesn't know Canada, we have a lot of rights issues. I guess would be an all-encompassing term with our Indigenous population.
Yeah, there's a big.
I was trying to think of like a word that would encapsulate the entire clusterfuck that is, our past exchanges with Indigenous groups. So what I was going to get on is I'm not going to elaborate anything specific. But somebody brought up years ago. I was having a conversation with someone in Facebook comments, and they brought up like an issue, like a particular specific issue, and they're like, "What do you think of that though? Like, what does that mean for you?" And I was like, honestly, I said I can't comment on it because I don't know. Like I said, it's something smells bad. My intuition says there's something in that equation that doesn't make sense, but I refuse to comment on it because I don't really have an opinion on it because I don't have enough information to generate one.
Yeah.
But point being is there are people that don't care if they don't have all the information. They'll be like, well, I think this.
They're the same people that tell you to use an XLR to a USB. Hindu Shrimp, how you doing, buddy? So I picked up on
every time Hinter Shrimp joins, I have a craving for seafood. Every time. Horseradish. Where's the horseradish at?
I got an XLR to USB. That's a video upcoming because, oh my goodness, I have to see. I did see Podcastage actually did a quick little 3-minute video showing the SM7B on a USB to XLR micro cable. I'm going to go to a little more in depth talking about why it doesn't work, why it shouldn't work, and why God knows you should not go and buy an SM7B and plug it in with an XLR to USB mic or cable.
I'm just baffled as to, I mean, hey, manufacturing technology today, I don't know, it might be really good, but from my understanding of circuit topology, the amount of space, just physical space that you need to have the amount of gain stages required to juice something by 70 decibels does not fit in a USB port.
Well,
I'm
you
sorry.
should hear the noise. You should hear the noise. It's horrendous.
Well,
Anyways, this is going to be kind of a rebuttal video. I'm not really gonna do too much accessing the video, so I'm not going to be showing much of the video, so I'm not going to get a copyright strike.
You can link to it in your bio so people can go watch it.
I'm going to, and everyone needs to watch it. Not only were the mics horrendous, the one of them had LEDs, and that's the one thing he kept talking about. Look, this one's got.
I'm not gonna lie. So that one, I wouldn't buy it. So first off,
no.
But second off, when I saw it, I thought it would sound a lot worse than it actually ended up sounding.
Yeah.
It still didn't sound amazing, but for the price and for the fact that they're obviously focusing on showmanship more than actual function, I was actually a little impressed.
Yeah.
The little tiny little meat hook abortion that they had there on the first mic, the $50 one. That one was gross.
Yeah, that was that
one
bad.
Was gross. And it was just size wise. I'm like, it looks like somebody took the. Looks like somebody took the mic off a headset and basically put it on a stick.
The first problem I had with that, it comes with its own little stand, and it actually shows a picture of it sitting on a desk, and it's a super cardioid, which, by the way, means that it has a very narrow pickup pattern. And
which means you move an inch and it's like, whoa.
And it shows a picture of a woman sitting with it pointed at her chest. And I'm like, okay. Maybe that's the one that needs to be on the boom arm 6 inches from your mouth.
Cool story, bro.
It was just like, there was so many things about that video that just made me go, what?
Cringe.
Anyways.
So this I want to tie this quickly into a general point with a small story attached, and I'm going to try not to go into details because that would be gossip. But so I have a real pet peeve with people who are in positions of influence, IGN, where they can, but they don't know what they're talking about, where they can either influence or they can actually just flat out make decisions.
Yeah.
That could be just, so here's an example of this in a completely other kind of form. So there's a social media community. I'm not going to say where it is or anything about it because, again, trying to stay away from the gossip mill.
Ends up with a K.
No, actually.
Oh, wow.
It's a very niche one. Not Facebook.
Okay.
Not Facebook, not Instagram, not Twitter, not Tumblr, none of those.
Yeah. Okay.
Not that Tumblr's really relevant anymore.
I think.
But so there's it's the type of social media platform where there are community leaders that essentially have the ability to strike and ban people and remove posts, and they have some hierarchical capacity, we'll say.
Yep.
And this particular community has, I think, 5 or 6 leaders, as they call themselves. Most of them are like 18, 19 years old. But so anyway, there's this one particular leader that I've come to know over the last little while, a musician, and somebody who really thinks that they're hot shit. Doesn't really know anything. Spends no time or work ethic developing their craft, by the way. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So this is somebody that likes to, record covers, post them on YouTube, and then link them on this social media platform, and make posts around them. It's like, okay, sure. So they decided, and of course, there's no glaringly obvious conflict of interest with this at all, but they decided that they wanted to petition to the rest of the leadership team to vote unanimously to strike anyone who posts covers because it's copyright infringement. And I could tell it was BS. I could tell it was BS because they wrote copyright as 2 words.
They
their
lawyers helped them with that, eh?
Yeah, really, yeah. So I'm hearing this from one of the other leaders that I'm actually friends with, and she was telling me about this, and I went on this massive rant explaining that cover licenses. Again, from being in the business, the legals, I'm very familiar and confident with my understanding of the legals. The license required for covering a song, mechanical license, performing license, depending on the situation, they're compulsory on the mechanical side, which means yes, you have to pay to cover a song, but an artist legally cannot decline you. Like, they cannot stop you from covering their song. You just have to pay them for it. There's no choice. It is compulsory.
What is
Not
the
only
fee
that,
on that, by the way? Just a side.
it varies.
Okay.
It varies. It varies and depends on the arrangement. Generally, if you're having records pressed, you're looking at, like, they usually do pay as you press kind of thing. So if you're getting 300 records pressed, you're paying for royalties on 300 records. Per unit, it's not really that much, but obviously it adds up. Yeah. It adds up kind of quickly, especially if you're doing like an entirely cover, like an album that's full covers. Now, Spotify and Apple Music have blanket licenses that cover covers.
Yeah.
So, they generally, there's no fee that comes from there. Some distributors charge to process the paperwork, which is kind of BS. But so anyway, the point being, compulsory, you have to pay for it, but it has to be granted to you. Not only that, but YouTube has deals with most major labels to allow patrons of the platform to cover songs. So, point being.
Oh, Hinter Shrimp says, I do a shit ton of covers. Am I in trouble? No.
No.
Especially not.
God, no. No. Well, yeah, if you're releasing them and selling them, different story. You're on your own there. But there are, depending on where you are, Canada has CMRRA, which is the Canadian Mechanical Reproduction Rights Agency. They handle that stuff in Canada. There's a different, Harry Fox agency does it in the States. There's places in Europe that, so I explained that, if you cover a song, you put it on YouTube, and then you link that YouTube video on another platform, YouTube's, because it ends up becoming a widget on that other platform, YouTube's blanket license extends to that other platform, so long as you don't put, like, Tumblr or Instagram, for example, or Facebook let you post direct to their platform. That's different.
Yes.
That's different. Now, Facebook and Instagram, or just essentially Facebook company in general, does have some deals in place that are kind of hazy as far as posting covers directly to their platform. But if you post a Facebook post linking to a YouTube video of you doing a cover, they can't touch you.
Nope.
They can't touch you unless it happens to be a cover by an artist that is not covered, that is not under one of those blanket licenses, which, most indie artists wouldn't necessarily be under that. So if you're covering a lesser known song, maybe check with somebody first, just in case it's someone that happens to be known for being a little overly litigious. But anyway, but all this to say is this really, ground my gears. And talking to this other leader, she's like, "You're really getting riled up about this." I'm like, I don't like when people spread bullshit. I really don't. There's enough. The internet is full of it already. We don't need more.
And companies like IGN should know better. Like,
really, I mean, especially companies. You're absolutely right.
A company like IGN should have reached out to Podcastage, or I'm not even saying myself, just somebody,
or Dark Corner Studios.
Yeah, somebody within the industry that knows something about microphones, knows maybe some great intro mics. But I'm guessing it was the companies that own the mics paid IGN to do up an article of the best mics. And they got it sponsored.
Well, I was going to say, because they had the Shure mic there, but the other two mics, like...
one was Razer, and I can't remember what the LED one was. I'd have to look it up. It was
the little tiny turd, that was Razer?
That was Razer, yeah.
Wow.
That's, you know what, I mean, whatever. For somebody that's gaming without, like, all they're doing is just voice chat on gaming, it's the perfect mic for it. Like,
well, at that point, you might as well
$50.
You'd be better off of getting like a Corsair headset or something.
Yeah, well, no, headset audio is pretty shitty. Like, it really
depends on the headset.
Yeah, that's true.
Depends on the headset. I don't know. I know the Corsair ones are flashy, and I have a lot of Corsair gear. I like them as a company. I think they really screwed up when they changed their logo way back when, but they've revived themselves. So we're not gonna go there with the stupid twin sword stuff.
So, you saw, by the way, switching gears here, you saw the small little 32-second video I put up yesterday, huh? You liked it?
Yeah. I watched it a couple times. Enjoy those views. Just racking him them dollars.
I don't even make money on that video. Like, so they're called YouTube Shorts, And it's
they're like it's basically YouTube's answer to TikTok.
Exactly. But YouTube is pushing it. Like,
I know.
You put a short
I keep
out,
seeing them all over the place.
Yeah, you put a short out, YouTube's gonna ram it down everybody's throat that isn't listening.
I noticed.
Thanks, Intershrimp. Yeah. So what I decided is when I'm shooting videos, I'm usually a bit of a moron, like being an idiot, doing some stupid things. And I was doing a video with the H5, and I was doing the tests, going through what it sounds like using it as a main mic, and one was handling noise. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. You shouldn't be holding on to this thing. It's a handheld mic. So I'm like, just smacking it back and forth. I'm like, don't do this. It sounds horrible.
This is bad. Just don't do it.
There was a couple other things that I was doing there. I was pulling the hair off at the end, and I realized.
I noticed that you're like grooming the mic.
I'm like, I could turn this into a short just like that. And so I did. I threw it up, and a lot of people are like, oh, it gets in the way of all your other videos. People are like,
it's entertainment value. Yeah. Shut up.
And so I kind of looked at it, and then I put out a little thing for all the listeners asking if people wanted to hear short or would it annoy them. And the first few votes were don't do it. And I'm like, that sucks. And then all of a sudden I got a ton of votes saying yes. Send out whatever you can put out. So I'm like, you know what?
Here's what I don't like about shorts. Instagram calls them reels. Yeah. TikTok calls them just, I guess, posts. TikToks. Yeah, TikToks. I don't like this because culturally, our society already has an attention span problem. Mm-hmm. And a swiping problem. This mentality of, well, it's got to be 15 seconds or less, or 30 seconds or less, is just going to massively exacerbate that.
Yeah, but I mean, all of the services that are doing it, I mean, for me, I just wanted to see what it was going to be like for views. Now, you don't get paid for them. The shorts don't pay because there's no ads on them.
The ads would be longer than the shorts.
Once the ads are on them, and they will be, YouTube is going to monetize the fuck out of everything they can.
Oh, yeah.
Then we're going to get paid. But I looked up my numbers from it. So I posted it yesterday at around, I'd say like 11, maybe. At 8 to 9 o'clock, my views shot up 300%, then 400% 9 to 10 p.m., then 500% 10 to 11, then about 700% viewage between 11 and midnight, and then it just all went back to normal.
But here's the question. So did you get any conversions from that? Like, were these people just watching the reel or the short, or did they actually transition over to some of your long form content?
I think they did. It's hard to tell.
That'd be interesting to look at.
Like, I know every night I go to sleep, I wake up, I usually have 6 or 7 new subscribers. So that's not a big, like, I can't tell. That fluctuates. I've woken up with 12 new subscribers. So it's hard to tell.
But you can tell, like if you go on a specific video in your creator studio and you look at the analytics for like a normal, like one of your more recent posts, and you check it during that time frame, if you see a bump, then you can say, okay, it's safe to say that the short is inciting some traffic.
Yeah, no,
which would be interesting to see, because like I look at it like Instagram stories, for example, or Facebook stories. Is there is an art, like lots of people will see a story posted by a friend or a page that they follow, and it's like, okay, cool, yeah, next. It actually, there's a certain art to crafting a story post in a way that it actually incentivizes somebody to click through to the actual post that it's referencing.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there's potential with that with shorts, like if YouTube has designed the platform so after somebody watches a short, how easy it for them to just go and check out the rest of it.
They put the subscribe button right at the bottom. So that's a one button subscribe. I don't really know. And as it is with YouTube all the way through. By the way, Hint to Shrimp, do y'all watch Andrew's podcast? I love his take on things. Bandrew. I do watch some of his clips from his podcasts. I haven't really sat through his whole podcasts. But yeah, I do like it. He's one man yelling at the mic. That's basically his whole take.
That sounds like me every day.
He's an entertaining fella. I wish I had all the time in the world like he does. Oh, but
the dreams.
You know, with YouTube, they're going to be moving this. Like, they're going to be blowing this up regardless.
Of course, it's all about revenue.
And they're going to make the revenue. And I've been trying to tell people that are in YouTube, get on the shorts. Like get going on them. If you have to
Oh
set
yeah,
up a separate
because
channel.
they're going to be doing what what Facebook did, what Instagram did, what Twitter did, where they'll launch a new feature and then they'll start to actually penalize people who are still only using the old, like they will reduce your reach percentage for your long form content.
Yep.
To try and incentivize you to make shorts to push
big
people
time.
over there.
In fact, and I know that the big corporations do this, like with Facebook. If you have a page on Facebook and you purchase
you're done.
any boost,
they
will not boost anything ever. Like they won't put you out anywhere.
Yeah, your organic reach goes down by like 7%.
And I work at a place where that's happened. And so YouTube's going to do the same thing. They want to put you out to everybody. They want everybody watching your stuff. And the way that they boosted that overnight, and like if you look at the graph of my views, I average anywhere between 40 and 100 views per hour. And I was getting like 400 views in an hour all of a sudden at midnight when I shouldn't be getting it. They were pumping that out. And I think this is one of those if you're on YouTube, you should probably be doing this. So it was interesting.
Right.
I think I'm going to do more. I'm going to try to I want to make sure it's not just like, hey guys, how you doing? I got a mic for you. I'm going to try to make it entertaining.
Just stash the bloopers. I mean, anytime I'm creating anything, there's always hilarious moments that happen.
Always.
I wish some of the stuff that happens during the day that I could post. But sadly, NDA kind of has me by the twisted nuts.
Yeah,
as far as that. Now, that said, I have contacted our regulatory team and the higher ups to ask them, like, okay, something that's running or that's already run.
Yeah.
What about that? Because I mean, it's already public. It's running like across 56 radio stations. Like, I think it's probably okay to show people
just
it now.
Lop off the station.
Yeah, or lop off. Well, there's even videos I think I sent you on to Facebook. Like when I'm editing someone's VO for work, and no one else is around, I am savage. Like I have this very short fuse, and I will like rip into people as I'm going through the VT. But the thing is like some of these coworkers are on social media.
Yeah.
So even if I cut out their name and bleep their name, they're gonna be like, "Hey, that's my voice."
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's tough because those are some of the funniest, the funniest shit on my camera roll or things like that.
You could literally make a channel out of Audio Guy Reacts. Like
that. Well,
it's would listen to that.
One thing that I thought of doing just as an idea for some thematic content on the channel that I still haven't launched yet. Elephant in the room.
You'll get there. Don't worry.
I'll
You'll
get there. But again, right now I'm just focusing on trying to. What the fuck was that? Right, something just flew by. Bugs in the middle of winter. Yes, absolutely. But one thing I'm focusing on doing is just making sure it's sustainable. Making sure that I have like formulas for different types of content to do consistently, so that I'm not like, okay, I've got 5 ideas, and then I blow through those 5 ideas, and it's like, all right, I got nothing.
You know what? That's the biggest fear, but you get over it pretty quick when you recognize.
Oh well, yeah, because you become like a well-oiled machine, and like as a producer, I've gotten that way before. Like somebody drops a bunch of stuff on my plate, like create something, and I'm like, I got no ideas. But then it's like writing. It's like you take a blank piece of paper and you just put the pen to it and you start writing, and then it just happens. You just got to start, and that's the key. Which a bit of a hypocrite because I haven't started yet.
So, time is a big thing.
Getting back to my point. So one of the ideas that I had was to in videos to go back and react honestly to old things that I've done.
Oh wow!
Like years ago, either songs or videos and be brutally honest, because like one thing that I know about myself is I am never ever 100% satisfied with anything that I've ever put out.
Yeah.
Even stuff like I'll do something, I'll be like, this is great, and I'll put it out, and it's actually so bad that I have literally called manufacturers on the manufacturing floor and requested them to stop so I can send them a revision. I have done that. The true story. The thing is like usually, and I'm a firm believer that if you listen to something you did a year ago,
yes,
and you're happy with it, you're not growing.
Suck. You suck.
You're not growing. You're not. You're exactly how you were a year ago. I listened to something I did a year ago. I listened to something I did 2 months ago, and I'm like, ooh, what the hell was I thinking with that?
I've gone back. This happened to me when you and I did a video together. Which video? Oh, the NT2A, I think it was, where I shot the video, and I asked you to do the midpoint, and then you were busy. You didn't have time. So I was like, okay, I'll wait for Dylan. Let me know when you want to do it. And you got back to me. I think it was like 3 months later. You're like, okay,
like really later.
I'm ready to do it. So I actually went back and I watched the original, what I had shot as the bookend for your piece in the middle. And I'm like, this is absolute trash. I can't put this out. Like, it was such garbage. And I'm like, well, I've got to reshoot it myself. So I went in, I rewrote it, I redid it. And it's amazing, just 3 months, and it wasn't even like, oh yeah, I made a mistake here and there. I'm like,
no,
oh my
it was
God.
like nothing about this is good. Yeah,
no one could ever see this video. It's garbage, and that's because in those 3 months, the content had been elevated, as it should. Every time you do something, you get a little bit better. By the way, hey Quebecer, and do you have an iPhone to post shorts? Hint of shrimp. All you got to do is put a video under 60 seconds. On YouTube in the portrait mode, and it has to have hashtag shorts in the title and or in the description, and it will be considered a short by YouTube. There you go. So you're saying
that was it basically.
Okay.
It was an idea, and like even like what was it last night? I was going back and watching some music videos and not evaluating the audio, but just evaluating the videos themselves, and some of it I was being pretty savage. Some of it was there were a few goods here and there, and there was some stuff that was just kind of neutral. Like, okay, that could have probably been done a little bit better. But there was some stuff I was like, what were you thinking with that shot? Like, what world is that composition sufficient? Like, you know, like just stuff like that. And again, these are things. It's interesting to watch somebody critique their own stuff, because most of the stuff that I would say is not something that my audience would ever in a million years even consider to be something that's problematic. And I think it's interesting, and it maybe even start a trend. Like you should do it. You should do it where you go back to like the first video that you did on YouTube and critique it for like on camera. Like watch it, film yourself watching it, and like the stuff that you're saying as you're going through it.
It's funny because there's a point in my channel where I bought a teleprompter, because I believe in writing scripts, following scripts, and you can have, you're bound to be funnier when you're scripted. You're bound to be more insightful.
Yeah, because you don't have to think so hard.
Exactly, but there's also less editing. Quebecer says, Dylan, YouTube channel, where?
No.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
You know what? And it's funny too, because if you'd launch a YouTube channel, I can guarantee you, like, you'll grow quickly. You have the chops. You know how to do this. Like that cut in. I was watching the cut in from the first video we did together, the SM58 SM7B.
Oh God.
It's well done. It's really well done. If you need a teleprompter.
Yeah.
And you will be unstoppable with this. I guarantee you it. You will do very well. It's just a matter of getting your ass in gear. Anyways.
Well, again, no, I was just gonna say I've got most of the infrastructure. The teleprompter is going to take some finagling, but everything else,
$150.
Oh, it's not the cost I'm so concerned about. It's the practicality of it.
I know it does suck for practicality. This is mine. Yeah. You can't see it, but everyone else can. This is my teleprompter.
Every time.
My camera's on the back, and basically you put the phone right here, and the little script scrolls by, and it's fantastic. It's the only way to do this stuff. You got to know how to write, but if you can write, you're good. Now, in the middle of my channel, I had a teleprompter, and you can tell like where the teleprompter came in,
started, and where it started.
So you go look at my first video I did. The amount of jump cuts I had to do, just like middle of speech, putting two sentences together, and then my buddy of mine, Mr. F, Adam, he produced it for me. Like he edited it for me, and he put it all together, did some of his own stuff, and then he went and he clipped out every and put them at the end. So at the end, there's like about 45 seconds of me going, All right,
well, like everybody, I don't care how good your attention span is, everybody has like a phonetic buffer. Like you can only retain so much consistency. And even me, like those cut-ins, I rehearse those probably 100 times before I do them, so that I've pretty much ingrained the exact roadmap into my head. But as you say, the problem with that is it comes out unnaturally because you're so focused on keeping on point, and it requires so much cognitive energy to do that you're not working as naturally. Like if anyone who hasn't seen these videos, if you go back and you watch my performance in these versus like me right now, very different people. Very different people in those two instances.
But then you get those points where you're like, you memorize it, you're good. Even when I do a friggin' script and I'm shooting the video and then I remember something off script and I'm like, oh, and you've got to do this as well. And I'm like, oh, and should I write the script? Oh my God. And
I mean, honestly, B-roll can be a godsend.
I've used it to cover up some jumps. I've had some jump cuts.
And I can always tell. And after I learned that trick, like in film school, every time I watch a video now, I'm always listening during the B-roll to see if I can, because oftentimes I've noticed that video creators will not always fade the audio, like crossfade the audio under their jump cuts. So sometimes you can actually hear like the breaks between the cutting, and it's like, oh man.
One of the best things I learned when I'm doing product reviews, and this actually happened with the H5, is I can shoot my own B-roll. But then I realized, why don't you just go get the promotional material that they released for the H5 when they sent it out, cut that up and put that over. And it was wonderful.
Is that legal though? Could they not? I mean, it would be stupid unless you're giving it a scathing review.
Yeah, if I'm punching the thing, oh wait,
in the face.
I don't
do it.
Oh man. So Quebecer says, I spent 20 minutes to try to find your YouTube last week. Just hit record. You got this. Quebecer, he actually does have...
I don't have it. Well, I have a channel, but it doesn't got the kind of stuff you're looking for.
It's his music that he's got. If you want, Lydian Studios.
That's a separate channel.
Yeah.
That's not when I start launching educational content, it will not be like, there will be some brand separation. Yeah. They'll still probably point to each other in select instances when it's beneficial, but for the most part, they'll be separate.
Yeah. Lydian Studios is called, right? Is it Dylan Lalonde?
There's nothing on the LS channel. Dylan Lalonde Music is the music channel. But the actual educational channel will be other...
I'm just going to link it. There's a few Dylan Lalondes on here, huh?
I am aware. Don't even remind me.
All right. Man, your name's not special, man.
No, there's some photographer in the States that's got the damn website with the name, and I want to punch him. But...
Okay.
Die already, damn it.
Just so he knows, Dylan wants to kill you.
Yep.
This is one of those...
Or I'll just, I'll just pay you to give me your
I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to actually go back and react to one of my old videos. By the way...
I think it's a neat thing.
By the way, there's one other thing I want to do. So we're going to do the commercial production. We're going to actually kick that off in the next couple weeks.
Thanks, Quebecer. I just got a subscriber. I just look at him like, what are the odds? New subscriber.
I'm gonna
Quebecer.
I'm gonna record my script in a couple weeks, and we're gonna have a video, somewhat like pro producer versus beginner producer kind of stuff. We're gonna do that, but I'm also gonna bring this another direction. And I want to actually see what it's like I'm going to give you a melody. I'm going to take a melody. I'm going to give you some lyrics. And then you are going to interpret that melody and lyrics into a song. And I am going to do the same thing. Okay?
Interesting idea.
And it's just going to be one verse, one chorus. It's not going to be a full song. You don't have to beat the shit out of me with this. Just so you know. I know you're going to want to take 40 hours on that one verse and one chorus, but you don't need to beat the shit. You're going to win. Okay?
40 hours, Sam. That's child's play. What are you talking about?
We're going to put together a song. It's going to be fun. I'm going to do my version with just the very basic, like I'm going to give you a very, very basic melody, and you're going to interpret that however you see fit. And I'm going to do the same thing, and we're going to have a bit of a produce off.
See, I like basic because basic means I got all kinds of different things that I can different directions, spin-offs that I can take.
And this is going to be fun because you have plugins galore. I basically have writing knowledge and skill at playing and singing. You have to sing your own, by the way. That's
totally ready to do that.
Cool.
No problem.
So we are going to do that video between you and I. We'll both write the exact same song, and then we're going to react to it, and that's going to be all one video.
Are we going to react to each other's or our own?
We'll react to each other's. So I'm going to send you mine. You'll send me the video of you reacting to it.
Cool idea. So we're just bouncing ideas around here. So that we'll wait a year, and then the 1 year anniversary, we'll go back and we'll react to our own. At the same time. We'll do this, like combining the two ideas. So the main video that we do, we'll do it and we'll react to each other's, and then wait a year, and then the following year we'll react to our own.
I like that.
I do too. That's why I said it.
It's going to be like a slow song. It'll be probably a Billie Eilish style, not style, but vibe. So it's going to be it's not going to be like a hard rock song.
Are you the bad guy?
So today on the morning show, I just got to tell you this. This is one of my favorite things ever. I found out my co-host this morning that likes to do songs. So he'll take a random song and he'll start singing it like Gordon Lightfoot's The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Yes, I'm the Slim Shady, the real Slim Shady, and y'all are all just imitators. So we literally made him actually go through 3 different songs. One was Bad Guy. It was fantastic.
Oh man!
And he just
is there a SoundCloud place where you put clips?
I should get some of those clips. So every week we're going to be making him do stuff in different styles. So next week's going to be Christopher Walken doing Bootylicious.
Oh man,
my body.
Oh man,
I can't even do a good Christopher.
My
Walken.
body.
Perfect. Yes, you can do this. So that's
man.
Oh man, we're getting off track here. I can tell the night is getting long.
I love how you started this video off by saying, "I'm writing stuff down. I'm not gonna let us go off track," and you're the one.
Well, no, I knew we're gonna go off track. I just wanted I want to be able
I'm not even drinking this week.
I'm the one that's drinking. That's the problem.
Yeah,
I want to get a little more to the point where we're doing our main theme, because I would like to have like a main storyline to talk about, and that's the only thing. So the IGN video we talked about there. So as I'm holding up once again, this will be the video coming out this week. Is XLR versus XLR to USB. I'm holding off on the H5 video because of this.
Dude, I get ulcers every time you talk about it. I get ulcers.
Say it like what's his
name?
Like
you literally make my stomach want to eat itself. It's so bad. Like, it's so bad.
Say it like Christopher Walken.
No, you got to wait to see the video.
Padre says
I'm not going to take away your morning show host's glory.
Padre says off track but fun to watch. So I think maybe that's the point.
It's a dumpster fire.
Maybe that's what people are coming for. They want to see shit on fire. Maybe.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's good to have. Come to think of it, like a couple weeks ago when we did that one bit, that Apple rant.
Oh yeah,
and we lost like everybody.
We talk about computers for 5 minutes, and I watched the viewership like.
I think maybe the problem there was it was too informational. Maybe it wasn't. Nuts enough. So I'll start doing every Friday. I'll start doing these food deprived and sleep deprived, and that way I'll be just primed.
And I'll just drink. Okay.
Start drinking at 10 a.m.
Aiden's
crack
drunk.
open a 60 of bourbon.
Yeah, that's my wife is not going to like me much anymore.
Nope, your wallet neither.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, well, I think we're going to call this one Dumpster
Sounds like a plan.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Appreciate it. Stay tuned. We do have more. Let me know. Hit me up. The shorts, if they piss you off, if you like them. I'm also going to be putting up clips from this show on the channel, just in case. I know we get 14, 15 viewers, and I've got 2,400 subscribers. They're missing something.
Well, I think part of it is people don't, when people see this on in their feed, they see that there was a live stream or something, that's they don't know what it is, and some people aren't willing to like take time to actually dedicate.
It's like an hour.
5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's an hour and something.
But it's like where a normal video you could just pick your own hour or watch it whenever. Whereas with this, it's like people kind of want to watch them when they're on. So it's like, but I don't think a lot. So I think it's a good idea to put clips up because
does it have to be?
It shows
later?
people just how wigged out this is.
Should it be later?
But I don't know. That's a put up a poll.
All right,
do a poll.
I'm gonna put
and just list some times like I don't know 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Who do we annihilate?
And on that note, all right.
And on that note,
that's everything we got. Thanks for joining us, guys. Have yourselves a great weekend, and I'll have a clip from this up sometime this weekend. So we'll see you next week.
Ciao to Fernouty.